Hello there. Welcome to today's ISC Lunch and Learn session. My name is Stephanie Wickstrom, and I will be presenting for you all today. I'm a consultant here at ISE with a primary focus on InfoOS and some of the extended ERP solutions that go along with that, and just the whole modern XA platform as a whole. So today we're going to cover off really just the whole look and feel of modern XA and learn about the added tools, benefits, and functionality to be gained with using the interface. We'll also include some overview of Netlink and its planned enhancements. And then I'll also talk a little bit on a technical perspective, not too deep really, but just kind of give you a perspective on what it would take to get up and running with modern XA. So it looks like we have a great crowd of folks here joining us today. For those that aren't familiar with ISE, aren't acquainted, we've been around for a few years now, just celebrated our 35-year anniversary last year, headquartered out of the Waukesha, Wisconsin area. And really, I guess our focus is on XA customers, but we have, a plethora of other services that we offer as well. So feel free to check out our website and learn more about that. And with that, why don't we just get started? So what is modern XA? Where is it? And who has access to it? Well, modern XA is really an efficient, task-oriented methodology for viewing information contained within the ERP with the ability to customize the look and feel of the displayed data and then to meet the needs of each user and group using it. Modern XA is a thin client, completely browser-based, makes for an easy deployment for anybody that's on the tech side here, on the IT support side. It's super easy to deploy because all you're doing is setting up your user access, your credentials, and providing your user with a URL to log in with. Okay. So Netlink is ran through an intermediate layer called System I Workspace and accessed via the InfoOS portal. All ERP users can run modern XA, whether they're remote or on-site. And if you have any remote users that happen to struggle with latency, the modern XA interface fixes that. The users, they experience increased speeds over the traditional XA interfaces. So along with modern XA, you gain several different tools. My favorite happens to be the context apps that we're seeing over on the far right pane here that you can expand and collapse as you're working within the different menus of the ERP. What you can do is you can utilize up to 3 unique user definitions to display per business object when you're selecting on a record from the list view, which we're seeing in the center portion of the screen here. Okay, so for an example here, what we're looking at is item revisions. And off to the far right, we're also able to drill in and see just, at a glance, our attachments associated with that item. We can see a item cost breakdown. And then if we were to scroll down a bit, we'd be able to see our routings or our bombs, whichever one we have chosen. In addition to the context app views delivered through the ERP, modern XA is also capable of showing you related information, which is what we're seeing here with that little image of the bike over off to the side. And you can see we could scroll through page 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could get into some maybe perhaps specs that we have attached and associated with the item, any kind of service manuals, whatever it might need to be for collateral, right? But all that's being driven by a tool that comes installed with the InfoOS package called IDM, or Info Document Management. So that's a base level package there available for you. And then along with this, we're also gaining accessibility to our alerts, tasks, posts, and so forth coming in from the portal. Okay, so because modern XA is InfoOS supported, these added options are available to us, along with dashboards, other collaboration tools, and then also the ability to deploy your application suite to your enterprise. So if you're integrating with other Info or non-Info applications, or just simply want a one-stop shop for your business applications, then you could provide that to your users in this interface. All right, just have a third example here for everyone. This is coming from the purchase order object, and the user has specified to be able to see over in the context apps menu the comments, vendor preferences, and scheduled receipts related to the purchase order. Now, often we receive questions from different customers who have a pretty healthy combination of PowerLink versus green screen users. In modern XA, you have the ability to access both IDF level 1 and 2 objects. And here we're seeing an example from the forecasting module here, where we're taking a look at that. That's traditionally a green screen task, an object now. And Infor is working diligently to transition out of this, but while we're waiting, we could be offering our users a one-stop interface, like I had said, where they can access all this. Okay, now this option is only available in System I Workspace or through the portal as demonstrated. It is not something that's available in standalone Netlink today. Some other examples of tasks that are waiting for transition would be the pick, pack, ship, and the select and edit transactions, okay? And if you have any custom programs, or even business objects for that matter, those too can be displayed and used within the modern XA world. All right, so I just got a little short clip here to kind of demonstrate what a typical user might do when they start off their day. When they come in the office and fire up their computer to work on XA, they'd pull open a browser of their choice, log into the portal, and then they may or may not see a dashboard here, whatever has been defined for them. And then based on the applications they have authorization to see, they will see those displayed in the app switcher menu up in the far left corner. Now, if you choose to deploy this with single sign-on, you could skip the additional layer of sign-on here that we just saw. Right now, we're going into XA. Okay, so over on the far left panel, you can see any recent tasks for the user along with their account information. You can drill right into a business object from there if you did not want to select it from the main menu. If you choose to use user messages in your environment, those of course work over here as well. And then you can select a record if you wish to expand that contextual app widget over on the far right, you can, or you could just drill right into the record to do whatever work you may need to do here. Okay, so you kind of get the idea here, and you can see the drop-down menu. You can switch between any of your user-defined views and so forth. Okay. So Netlink enhancements are making tremendous progress. We've seen several of them over the last 6 to 9 months. Development has been rewriting tables, improving upon the existing PowerLink functionality. So not only will it be in Netlink, but it will also be up to modern standards. So a big rollout announcement is forthcoming when all of it is in place. However, Infor has chosen purposely to just kind of slowly release these enhancements out in a trickle-like fashion, unannounced, without a lot of fanfare, and it's just being delivered as part of the normal fix packs that they roll out on a monthly cadence. Okay. So what I'm about to show you next here are some of the functionality may be out there and available to you if you're up and current on the release and fix levels, and some of them are yet to be released. Okay. So one of the major enhancements that I've been seeing and playing around with are related to tables and the filtering of those tables. So custom filters, temporary subsets are now expanded to use the show filter row that we're seeing on the top image there. And this aligns with the Infor user experience standard that's covered across all Infor applications. Okay, so this is similar behavior to what we've seen in the past with temporary subsets, but it's more visibly accessible now. And then you're gaining the ability to filter on multiple columns simultaneously. And then also the general layout has been altered for better use of screen real estate and usability. Subsets, now this is pretty cool, I think. I'm a data person, so I very much enjoy manipulating data and seeing it how I want to see it without having to go through a lot of tedious work to do so, right? So as you can see here, we're getting a new look and feel to this definition. We're seeing all the standard operators that we've come to know and love in our everyday lives, in and outside of the ERP. And for those that aren't familiar with it, there's also a field value operand that can be utilized. Pretty cool stuff. All right, sort indicators. For anyone that's running PowerLink now, you're used to having those. However, you did not have the sequencing available to you. So that is new. List personalizations are also being enhanced. The whole concept of resizing, reordering columns, shifting them as needed, stretching them, condensing them to fit your needs can all be done ad hoc, so it doesn't impact others globally. And it's a nice thing for us knowing that everybody has a different display, right? Whether they're on a PC, a tablet, whatever. Screen sizes shift and change drastically nowadays. So having the ability for the screen first to adapt to that, and then secondly being able to have these personalizations available to you in a list view. All right, so as far as the user definition editors go, when you go up to user preferences and you can see all those different custom views, cards, subsets, all those types of definitions. Well, going forward, this will be supported in Modern XA. It is still a piece that's being rolled out, but the interface will be similar to PowerLink in most cases. However, we're going to see some drastic improvements for consistency, usability, and to take advantage of what I was mentioning before with the screen size changes. Along with that, we'll see common pattern in the displays within the editor, and with the ability to filter and sort within the editor too. On exports, the file export options, that functionality is going to be restricted by the browser being used. Okay, so now that we're in a browser-based environment, that's going to be an imposed restriction on us. Whereas at a client level, we could do a file export and rely upon some other back-end services to deliver that for us. Okay, I will add that Infor is reviewing some other options that may become viable in the future to perhaps expand upon the available options within the browser environment. Okay, so just running through some different examples here of what these enhancements for the editors look like. We have a sample showing the attributes filter for a card or card file by an object. Another example here showing the attributes filter. Hold on here. There we go. Now we're moving. All right, so showing the available cards for purchase orders where you could filter on the type of card you're looking for. So I think a number of customers that I've worked with at least, and then from my own experiences, between the different public and private cards that you can construct and use throughout the enterprise, you find that that list gets to be quite lengthy, right? So there's different ways that you can control that list, and now we have the added option to filter that list based on the card type. So if we know that we're looking for a specific card that's perhaps a list card or compound card, we can control that and quickly find that in our navigation. So are you ready? And what does it take to make the switch to Modern XA? Is it an all or none? And what is the risk? Well, for those that may be on this call that are new to XA, you've been finding out that ISE recommends rolling out XA to the user base in modern XA, as shown with InfoOS portal. It's simpler to deploy, simpler to train folks on, and really it provides the best all-around user experience. Now, for those on the call that are existing XA customers and have been kind of just waiting for this transition, watching what's going to happen, there's a series of requirements for you to consider. And what I'd like to preface this with is just remember that as you're considering deploying this, it is certainly not needed to be an enterprise-wide deployment. You can start out with a defined group or team, have them try using it first, and then gradually roll it out versus the whole big bang approach. But whatever you're comfortable with, know that you can take that approach however you might wish. Okay. The biggies that we need to make sure are in place for transitioning are going to be making sure that you're at least at a XA release 9.1, preferably 9.2. You've got PowerLink installed, Netlink installed, and then SystemI Workspace. That's a component. It has another underlying requirement called SystemI Manager. Together, those are the two things that need to be in place so that we can bring this whole interface up into the portal. Okay. The other two things that I would suggest having in place would be SystemLink and Enterprise Integrator. Not only are these required if you're doing any kind of integrations, but they're going to need to be in place to ensure that you have access to any of your custom objects that you may have in your environment. Okay. Without those, you won't see any of those objects when you're in using XA. Okay. Like I said, roll it out by functional department, preferably stage, so you can gain user acceptance that way. And as far as the risk goes, it's really quite minimal. It's your traditional user interfaces remain in place and can be deployed to clients as needed. But really, they all build upon each other, and we're going to see that coming up here. I guess as we peel back the layers to modern XA, each layer is going to reveal its predecessor, right? So there are required building blocks per se. So to run Netlink, you need PowerLink installed. To run SystemI Workspace, you need Netlink installed. And to run XA within the portal, you need SystemI Workspace. Okay, so they all build up to each other. Now, if you've recently flexed with the XA licensing agreements and such, you're going to have most of what you need in place already. It's just a matter of working with your partner or account rep to maybe pass a few order forms back and forth just to align on the licensing. But you should be, as long as you have PowerLink, Netlink, and SystemI Workspace in place, anybody that had the older versions of Ion or XI Platform, as they used to be known, you have InfoOS, so you can really get started with modern XA anytime you wish. All right, so XA has come a long way since its inception in 1977. Modern XA uses the same user login a person would use for traditional XA, as has the same securities, authorizations as PowerLink, so all that remains the same. What we're gaining is we're gaining a completely browser-based thin client. We're updating to modern standards that, quite frankly, we see it in every other application we use today. Our ERP seems to be the application that lags behind in this aspect. So it's refreshing to see it coming to fruition now. All right. With modern XA, we're seeing those standards become compliant across all the Infor products. We've got the single user interface to support both IDF level 1 and 2 tasks. We've got contextual apps, dashboards, collaborative tools, and all the like. All right. So really, XA browser, way back in release 4 in the 90s, led us to what we know today as PowerLink and Netlink, which really that became available in release 7. There was quite a few people that didn't really take advantage of it until release 9 came about. So keep an eye on the Netlink enhancements that will continue to roll out over the course of the year. And a big rollout announcement will come when all is in place. That is what I have for you folks today. So if you have any questions that you would like to place out in the questions or the chat panel, I'd be happy to answer anything that might be on your mind. And as you are taking time to digest all this, I'll just throw up on the screen here, we've got some upcoming Lunch and Learn sessions. You can find those out on our website and register for those, as well as a web series that's being put together that'll consist of presentations and demonstrations geared towards specific departments using Modern XA. The first couple of sessions are focused on customer service. However, we're planning on adding scheduling, accounting, engineering, and the like. So the focus of these sessions will be on completing your tasks using the latest and greatest features and functionality that exist in XA today. So again, just keep an eye out for more details to come on that, and you'll find that out on the website as well. And I thank you all for stopping in and watching today. I will check the question panel here, make sure we don't have any. If you think of anything later on, by all means, feel free to send an email or give us a shout, and we'll be happy to answer those. I think I do see a question here. Let me see if I can adjust my screen to read it here. Okay, a question that we have is, are custom programs run through an emulator, converted to GUI on the fly, or converted to GUI prior to running? Sorry, I'm just having a hard time scrolling on the computer. And can we see the URL for the events again? Oh, yeah. Yep, let me go back a couple of screens. That's the easy part. All right, so the custom programs, it's no different than just using any of the standard green screen tasks. As long as you have authorization to them, they're out there and available. And with SystemI Workspace, it has a built-in emulator, is how it's currently ran. So you don't need to install anything separately. And it's really just as simple as that. It used to be a separate install, but now it's all built into one. And it's more robust. It's not just simply a screen scrape, like what some users might anticipate it being. So I hope that helps answer the question there. Is adding Enterprise Integrator into Netlink in the future? As of right now, that is not on the roadmap released by Infor. Most of the development tools will remain in PowerLink. There are a few developer tools that will be pulled forward, the majority of which will stay in PowerLink, though. Let me see if I can't make this so I can more easily read your questions, guys. All right. Where can we find more information with SystemI Workspace? So for those that have an account with Infor Support or Infor Extreme, maybe some of you know it as, if you go out there and look under documentation, it'll be listed under SystemI Components. And as XA customers, you should all have access to that documentation. And if you would like just kind of some highlights, we could certainly send that as well. All right, I believe that covers all the questions. Oh, hold on, I think I got one more. Okay, I have a question about a specific application called SM Plus. I am not familiar with it, so I don't think I can answer the question for you right now, but I can follow up on it. So the Netlink interface itself is not where you're going to get access to your other applications will be within the Infor OS portal. That's where we can access any applications we've added to that suite, as well as integrate with them. So as long as your application that you're hoping to add is browser-based, you should be able to add it. Okay. If it is not a browser-based application, it will not be able to be added to the application menu. All right. Will this recording be available for review? You bet it will. Our marketing folks will have that ready for you, and a copy of the presentation as well. All right. Well, thanks again for your time, you guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day and join us for a future event. Take care.